Yep, let me start the recording. For the record, section 31.19B, alternate members will count toward the quorum and have voting privileges of a regular member when designated to serve in the place of a regular member. There you go.
All right,
Okay.
Terry, you're finally in, dude. Only took a full year. We're a diligent committee. We come to the meetings, right?
Okay.
Well, I think that's great.
I do too. Makes it easy to flow. So we'll call the meeting to order. Any citizen comments, public comments?
Chair, I would like to speak.
Please proceed.
I received the utility insert in our utility bill for our commercial property, and it said Austin City Council approved the fiscal year 2020-21 budget August 13th. The $4.2 billion budget is the same size as last year's budget, adjusting to new fiscal constraints while continuing to meet community expectations. As part of the budget process, the City Council also approves the rates and fees customers pay through their City of Austin utilities bill. Below are some highlights on FY 2021 rates and fees.
Oh boy.
Austin reduced residential water tiers 1 and 3 and wastewater item tiers 1 and 2. Volume rates in response to COVID-19. Those reduced rates will be in place through October 31, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, before we start, I've got something to say. Tonight is Regine's last night, and we were talking with her earlier. And Regine, I can't tell you how supportive you've been for me and how much I've really appreciated that, especially with Wanda, what you were saying. It never was anything other than I can do that. And that just accounts for so much. In my office, I call that employees, batteries included. I mean, they just get it on. I mean, it's like, can we do it? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I'll bring something back. And so it always made it so much easier. And I'm not casting aspersions. I'm just saying this is how Wanda rolls. And I mean, Regine, and that just meant so much to the chair and as a committee member, just keep moving us forward. And that is just really much appreciated and will carry you far.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Can I call you?
Of course. Not that I'll answer, but no.
20 years of knowledge. Why do we do that? I don't know. Somebody call Regine.
I don't know. Don't remember.
You'll be consulting. We can budget some consulting fees.
That's it. After, give me a couple of months to, get out of the working mode and into consultant mode. That'll work.
You'll be ready by budget.
I appreciate that.
We can take it out of council food.
Yeah. coffee and
great cards.
Right. Well, we all be sure to come and see me on the 9th when they're doing that thing. I'm looking forward to that. So give me a chance to say goodbye, and even though I have till the end of December, so, I will be here.
Excellent.
Oh, I see Tom Blanco's on.
Charles?
I wanted to add to that. I wanted to say, Regine, thank you so much, especially for my first year on the committee when I had no idea what I was doing. You were so helpful and made me feel so welcome, and I really, really appreciated that. I've appreciated everything you've done for the city.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. I really do. Anyway, it makes me emotional.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to say something too.
Mr. Cowan.
Regine, I remember you way back on the earlier part of those 20 years, and your approach to helping people hasn't changed a bit. You were always open and can do back then, and you still are. I think you deserve whatever good comes to your life from this point forward. We're going to miss you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, very well said.
We will miss you.
All right, anyone else? All right, we'll move on to Wanda's liaison report.
Okay, council met last night, and our first meeting with our new mayor, and I think we ended before 8 o'clock, which was really refreshing. But we didn't plan. There wasn't a huge agenda. One of the items on the agenda was there is a thank you, a volunteer appreciation thank you, and I believe it's on the 9th. And on December it's on a Wednesday, on the 9th.
December 9th from 4 to 6.
From 4 to 6, and it's a drive-by. So, and there's a gift for all the volunteers. So you basically drive through with your car and you'll get a gift. And I think there's a place there's photos. I'm not sure of all the details, but it should be a really nice event. And it's a special event, I think, in the sense that, we all everybody worked so hard this year because of all of the different challenges this year, and it was a very tough year. And so I think the CED committee put some effort into figuring out a nice gift and a nice process of receiving the gift, given all the COVID issues. And so I hope it'll be a very nice event, and I hope that everybody comes through and is a part of that. So the other thing that we did last night, we scheduled a council workshop, I guess, and that will be December 1st and 2nd. And then the other issue, the other point of business is that we formed a marketing ad hoc committee where we have different members, 2 council members, plus different residents, plus a business member that'll be working with Ampersand to work through their research process and to finalize their efforts. And that, I think, was the main, those were the main issues. Any comments for me or questions? Okay.
All right, on to the minutes. Rudy? That looked pretty straightforward. I didn't catch anything. Did you get anything that you wanted to get cleaned up?
The minutes are good.
All right. Any questions, or is there a motion on the minutes?
So moved. Approval.
Thank you. Motion, and is there a second?
Seconded.
Charles Young, thank you so much. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Minutes pass. We are on to item 5. We're going to set a record. Review, discuss, and make recommendations to the council to accept the quarterly portfolio statements, second, third, and fourth quarter. We kind of went through this last time. I think we did the review, and then it was a few things we wanted to tweak here, and Regine was working on that. Regine, you want to jump in?
Am I good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we did post the last page of each report. Rudy brought to my attention there was still a date that was wrong, and so I went in and fixed that. It was a glitch between the Excel and the PDF, so that's been fixed, and nothing else changed for these reports. Oh, and I did go back and change the information on the 9:30 report about what the difference was, because it had the 6:30, so I did fix that also.
Yeah, I went through them this afternoon. I could see where you made those changes. Thank you for doing that. Questions for Regine?
So Regine, on page 4 of 4.
On what?
I just scrolled all the way to the bottom, I think.
Last page.
Yeah. So are those dates correct? Beginning 4/1/2020, or those are the dates that need to be?
I've had a change on the Excel sheet. I can't change it on this sheet.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
But I have changed it on the Excel sheets. And the ones that go to council will be correct, because it'll be a new PDF.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so if I look at that last column of 21,644,641, that is the money in the bank, right?
Money in the bank as of 9:30.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Cha-ching. Anyone
So
else?
one thing, just this is kind of related to this. Your operating accounts. What is your normal balance in your operating accounts?
So in the general fund, which is the Wells Fargo, we keep between 4 and 500,000 because that keeps our service charge way down on a monthly basis. In the utility account, which is Chase, we keep 50,000 and below, but above 25. And that the utility one actually pretty much, we don't do too many transfers from Texel into the Chase utility because the payments usually take care of what goes out. So very seldom are we doing any transfers in that one.
Okay.
It depends on what month for like the large utility, the wholesale cost. So those months there might be a transfer, but on the norm, there's not that much of a transfer.
Okay. Is there any concern with the FDIC kind of guarantees with the 500,000?
No. They do a collateral.
Okay.
We haven't had one for a long time because we have so many. We have the signatures now. When that'll change. This whenever we do new signature cards, because I think we're eliminating one person. So, but they do that. That's kind of an automatic thing. They send us collateral reports every month to make sure that we are
That we're protected. Okay.
we are protected. Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good question, Wanda. We've not looked at that, or so maybe that's something we cover next year with the new committees to kind of go over some of that. You know, again, those are financial, and that we get operating, we forget about those things that are going on in the background, but it might be good to review some of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes, we're all accountants here. We like getting in the weeds, and sometimes you gotta pull back and look at the forest sometimes. And I'm not sure if I don't know who will be liaison next year, but if there's one thing I would want this committee to do is really start looking at, don't forget the forest. Let's look at that forest and do that analysis and, before, because weeds are fun, but you can't lose sight of, let's not save $3 here, but lose, 50,000 million here, so.
Agreed. Anyone else? Motion to approve to send to council?
So move.
Mayor Cowan, thank you. Second on that?
Second.
Mr. Belanca, good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Got that right. Any other discussion then? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Good to go. Thank you, Regine.
You're welcome.
I closed my agenda.
It's going. See that blue line?
And I
It's
closed my
trying.
agenda.
It's trying. That blue line is moving.
Let's see, we did the minutes. We did 5. Darn, I closed mine too. There we are. Item number 6 is the Budget and Finance Committee's quarterly finance reports. I spent some time, and Suzanne and I talked about this today. Man, what a train wreck. I mean, it's just everything that's gone on with, from the beginning of the year and the money reductions and the expense reductions, and it's lots of red. So you want to launch into that?
So the first part of it, which is what's up on the screen right now, that's the sales tax report. We've seen that many times over the last couple of months, but this is it's with the financials as it's officially going to be approved and go to council and be accepted. So nothing has changed on that from the last time that we looked at it. It's through September 30th, and we were down to, what 31,743 in the month of September, and 391 for the year, which was below what we projected for the COVID. So that actually ended up being better than we expected, and that's the sales tax portion of it. So if you go down some more to the next pages. That's the street fund. Just green tax. Yeah, just keep on going to the finance reports.
A little bit more. There we go.
So this first 2 pages or 3 pages, those are the total pages for the general fund. To look at the details, we need to go to the departments, which are the, I believe, page 3. Unless, I mean, there's really not, you can't see too much in the total. But so we have the pages, and that's the actual revenue. So on our actual revenue, we were down $471,000. 391 of that was sales tax. Our court was really low because, of course, the police department quit giving tickets out to COVID-19, and our interest was really low because the rates changed. And but out of that, we did not have to, or we decided not to do all those COVID cuts, or I'm going to say proposed cuts that were presented. We didn't go in and do that in the budget. We just did the ones that were actually in the red, which some of it had to do with COVID, some of it didn't. And so there's not that many budget adjustments that have to do with it. We just didn't spend the money, so we left it in there as it was, and it shows that we did not spend the money. I did the budget transfers. We hadn't done an official budget amendment. We had approved several changes through the year, and it's all included on this form. And I went and changed. Normally I didn't change the budget amounts, but on this one I did because it was so late, and it just shows that there was a budget amendment, and then you have to go to the other sheets to see what they were. The only ones that and we can go over these together. The only ones that I really want to talk about is the attorney was $14,000 over budget, and that doesn't include the month of September. September is not in here yet. We're gonna have to add that into next year. So there are no funds encumbered from attorney because we went over 14,000. So when that bill comes in, we'll have to look and see how the best way to handle that is. But that was a big one. And then the other one, and both of these are in admin. And the other one was utilities. Utilities was over like $21,000, and that is something that just with all the utilities that we have, which includes all those things that are on that list that we've given over the years. So I had to take 21,000 from one of the projects, which was I took it from the webpage digital directory amount, since we didn't do it, and we're using OpenGov now. So I took that money and put it in the utilities. Everything else was just like training, and we were over like training when Susanna came on board. She took the MIP training. That was something that we hadn't planned for, and so that transferred. But that's kind of the only things that were big and outstanding that I wanted to mention. Anybody have any questions?
So when you do your final budget amendments?
So the final budget amendments are at the end of this form.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Cowan?
yeah, in regard to the contractor for attorney, for legal advice, do we have a sense of why it went over budget 14K?
There are two things, what I think, the main ones. One, we had 2 attorneys for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And then the new attorney, she gets used a whole lot more. She was getting used a whole lot more. And so we have addressed that for this year. Sylvia, you might want to address that with what we're doing with her. But it was basically the use and the fact that there were 2 and the closing up and the turning over that made the bill a little bit higher.
Yeah, Terry, the other thing I thought is there's that curve, right? When you're bringing somebody on board, just that getting them up to speed on
Yeah, front end.
Yeah.
Do we have a projection how much since the last month won't be in this? Do you have a feel for how much it totally ran over?
I really don't. Our bill for August was like $10,000, but they had some extensive stuff in there. So I wouldn't say it'd be more than 10,000, but
Okay.
I really don't know how much until we get that. And,
Okay, I just wanted to get a sense of it in case anybody's online, they could hear some background on it. Thanks.
you're welcome.
Other questions for Regine?
Charles,
Yeah, I
John,
had one.
Charles?
Yeah, on page 3, for revenues, I had a question because I didn't quite understand something.
3 of 5?
Yeah. It's in the middle of the page for Department 4110. Yeah, page 3. Keep one more page. The one that says under comments, June mitigation, excuse me, mitigation reimbursement. I'm not sure I quite understood that one.
So that was the refund that we had to give the homestead of the $61,000. The money is in the committed funds in the reserve. So we had to take it out from a revenue, but it'll be offset on the financials from a other liability on there, which don't show up on these statements. So there's actually money in the bank to pay that. We didn't have to. I guess that really doesn't come from our revenue because it'll just come off of the other liability portion of the financial.
Yeah,
the
I'm
real
not understanding. I'm not understanding why it counts against revenue.
We put it on there. So I had to ask auditors about this myself because I really wasn't quite sure. Because I was going to code it to the other liability, and they told me no, to put it in a miscellaneous revenue, so it'll show as a negative, and then at the year end, there'll be an entry at a year end moving the liability money to take that away. So there'll be an end of year adjustment.
Okay, so essentially it's a wash.
Yes, definitely.
Yes,
Okay.
it's reversing a revenue we received.
Right.
Okay.
Also want to thank staff for coming so far under budget on so many items that were, there's a lot on the background of how that all happened, but basically we tucked our tail and did okay. It'll make it interesting when we do a budget and we're looking back at past trends and trying to decide how to go forward.
Right.
I was thinking
This
today,
one's gonna have to be thrown out. This is the anomaly.
yeah, we'll have to put a big red column down there and say, okay, that's the COVID year. Oh yeah, da 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 da. But it's going to throw off all those percentages. And I thought, well, we'll figure it out. But
Chairman Francis, may I speak?
of course,
This is Rudy. Thank you, Charles, for bringing up page 3, because yes, I had that on my questions also. The next one is page 20. The wellness credit. Could you explain that, Regine?
So we get a credit from the insurance company, from our medical insurance company, for if you're on the Go 365 program, and it's kind of a delay because we pay it, and then it doesn't show up. They don't give us the information until 2 months later for the wellness credit. So I have to put it somewhere else. My numbers don't balance on the total, but it's really not a budget item because it's a credit that goes against the employees. They get the credit, and so it's just going to show up on the report, and then it should wash out slowly as we go along. And so
yeah,
I don't know how that's going to happen in when we change, if we change insurance or things like that will just go away.
yeah, we have this in our office too, Rudy, and for employees that are involved in certain activities like healthy exercising, and there's all kinds of myriad of things. If they do those things, then Humana will give them, I don't remember our carriers, but we'll give you credits towards healthy lifestyle to reduce your costs, and it's just handling that. It's really a cool program.
For us, it's about to get, we're about to go mission critical on that particular line item, because if we don't, then the city is going to be faced with a double-digit increase in our health plan. So far, the wellness participation has been optional. We're about to make it mandatory, and we're about to require folks to participate. And that requirement really just means you do your assessment in the beginning of the year, you check in mid-year, you do your wellness stuff, and that's it. There's no requirement to go to the gym or any of those things, right? It's very little to get to the base minimum.
Yeah.
But if we don't, we didn't budget enough to account for the increase our health insurance would take. So we're about to feel a little bit of difference. There's a couple of employees who are hesitant to join the wellness, and what other companies and cities do is those employees are faced with the surcharge. So there's no reason the whole pool needs to pay the penalty if 2 folks don't want to participate. So we're about to go into that kind of discussion later on.
And as you pointed out, it's real simple. Some of the basic things, it just, you don't have to go to the gym. You just fill out some basic information. It really, really does make a difference.
Yeah, health insurance is, we could have faced anything from almost a 25% plus increase down to, Susanna, correct me, but it's about a 4% increase. And I think we budgeted for a 5% increase. And if we do our wellness, then it's almost a net zero increase.
Wow.
So there's been a lot of negotiation back and forth between Susanna and I and the vendors. We even had an additional vendor submit without broker fees, but that wellness component really is going to be what makes the difference this year.
Yeah, in some of our cases, it was like 100, 150 a month.
Yeah.
Per employee. So times.
And they get stuff like, I got a Fitbit. I mean, the employees have additional incentives other than the rate, and the rate that benefits them and the city. I mean, there's all kinds of goodies in that participation. So there really is no reason not to participate.
Yeah, we're kind of rabbit trailing, but I do it very aggressively, and I get free gift cards. I've gotten a free Fitbit. I get all kinds of gear, and they just give it to you to be active. If you're active, it's a real win. So anyway, sidetracking there. Is that good, Rudy? And good for you for making it required. It just makes sense. So.
I had one more question, Mr. Chairman.
Charles?
On page 6, another item I didn't quite understand. It's Department 5326. It says no budget amendment will be reimbursed under emergency purchases. I'm just curious as to what that is.
That's our COVID stuff. We were awarded as part of the federal designation to the state and then to the counties. All of the small cities around us joined forces. Mayor Cardona and the other mayors joined forces, and they wrote a letter to the state reps and the governor and forced Travis County to give us our portion of the CARES Act funding. And for the city, that translated into about $34,000. And so we were really able to outfit the buildings. We didn't have a whole lot of emergency expenses other than the staff overtime, which was also reimbursed. So that's a pocket of that.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious as to what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Susanna was saying the audit for that's been brutal. All
Yeah,
right.
it's a little intense.
Yeah.
They need every single T crossed and I dotted and just absolutely everything.
And I turned it over. I did as much as I could. And then I said, here you go, Susanna. You used to work with them. You know what they're looking for. You take it.
All right. Other questions? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion then to accept?
Move that we accept.
Mr. Belanca, thank you for that.
John is quick on the draw.
He is. And there was a second by Mr. Young.
I'll second the motion.
Excellent. We are moving forward. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right. Before we go to the next agenda item, I want to take a minute to let the members know that Mr. Belanca is going to retire from his arduous time on this committee of, let's see, what was it, 50 years? Is that what you told me? 50 years you've been on this committee? Yeah. John, you will be missed as well. What I always appreciate about John is you clearly know where he stands on things, and that has value. And even though we would sometimes joust, it was always done very professionally and with the best of intent. And that's really nice to work together as a committee, just really gelled us as a group. And we are really going to miss you, my friend.
Thank you. I did not mean it for it to not be hostile. I just didn't know any better.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Me either, John. Me either.
I told him, I said, come back when we're talking about library cards and
I'll be back.
council food.
I think we should name John Belanca Visitor Center if we ever get one.
Out in City Hall.
Just as long as it's not the John Belanca Memorial Center.
Right, yeah.
Oh, my friend, thank you so much. We're going to miss you, and we appreciate all the time that you've spent with the city.
Well, I'm going to miss you guys. No, I won't. I'll see you guys because I will see you around town, and I'll see you on these some of these meetings.
Good. I hope you'll come and drop in and harass us. Good. All right. All right. Mr. Mayor?
I just came on to say thank you so much to the folks that have served. Regine, really, it's been an honor working with you over all these years, and appreciate all your time that you spent with the committee. John, I appreciate your time as well, and I'll be happy to talk to you anytime about anything that you need, and especially if I'm out walking my rowdy kids and my dog past your neighborhood. I'm happy to stop by and chat. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
He's going to need therapy here in about 6 weeks. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Mark. All right. Our next item is to set the next meeting date. I guess we'll, the council will set the next committee. And were we thinking we do a December meeting? You want to kind of get going? Sylvia?
So the council's going to appoint at the December 15th meeting. So that just being so close to the
Oh.
Christmas holiday, I'm not necessarily sure we'd get a December meeting in.
All right. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be upset about that. But we'll be ready to rock and roll in January, and start talking about next year's calendar. And if any of us make it back onto the committee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus the whatever mandate the council gives after retreat on where we're supposed to be headed. So
Yeah. Kind of our marching orders for the year.
mhm.
Good. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. All right. With that, anyone else before we shove off? It's been 40 minutes. We have set a record for ourselves as well. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We have much to be thankful for.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Nothing else. And with that, is there a motion? Oh, Mr. Blanca. You're muted.
Can I make a motion that we adjourn?
Please do, sir.
I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, guys. Hopefully we'll see you at the drive-through on the 6th. Was it the 6th?
No.
Yes.
The 9th.
No, 9th. The 9th.
Yeah, drive-through and throw candy and money at Regine. And
We're gonna position her out there in her favorite chair and she can wave.
That's it.
excellent. Looking forward to it.
I am too.
All right, everybody. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for
All right,
everything.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Aye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.